Hello, kids. Welcome to our science class. I am teacher Joyce Sherry C. Pandoy, your science teacher. Today, you are going to learn about describing the motion of object. But before that, kindly get your module first, your ball pen, and please find a comfortable place in your house where you can answer your modules. Are you ready, kids? I believe everyone is ready. Then let us get started. Let us have first the what I need to know part of your module. So, dinhi nga part, mahibal-an ninyo unsa di ay inyong tumong karong buntaga. So, akong basahon ha ang nakasulat na diri. This module was designed and written in a way that suits your understanding and needs. It is here to help you master and describing the motion of an object by tracing and measuring its change in position, distance traveled over a period of time. Specifically, you are expected to first, identify the distance covered by a moving object. Second, determine the period of time spent by a moving object as it changes its position. And third, compute the speed of moving objects. Now let us proceed to what's in. So in your previous lessons, you have learned about push and pull, or the force that makes the objects move, right? Again, when we say force, it refers to the push and pull, and it is the reason why objects move. Do you ever wonder how the different forces around us affect the motion of objects? Have you ever seen the cars that race through the streets at night? Sa ba inyong mga observations sa mga cars na nag-race? The balls that roll on the ground when you kick them. Do you notice how they move in a specific direction and how fast they travel through space? This lesson will surely help you investigate further on the motion of objects. But before that, let us find out whether you can still recall what you have learned before by answering the following exercises. So let's have the directions. Encircle the letter of the correct answer. Number 1, what is motion? What do you think is the correct answer for that? Yes, you are right. The correct answer for number 1 is letter D. It is the change in position of objects. Number 2, which refers to the location of a particular object. What do you think is the correct answer? If you answered letter A, then congratulations, you are right. The correct answer is letter A, position. Next, based on the picture at the right, what causes the switch button to change its position as it's turned on? Yes, what's your answer? Very good. The correct answer is letter A, force applied by the finger in one's hand. Number 4, which of the following has the greatest effect on the motion of a falling object? What's your answer for this? If you answered letter A, then you are correct. It's the gravity of the earth. Last one, to identify whether an object has moved or not, you need to consider its length. Which of the choices below is the correct answer? Exactly. It's letter A. It's the reference point. No? It identifies whether an object has moved or not. So very good, no? You can still recall your previous lessons about this. Now let us move on to what's new activity. There you can see a picture of a house of two girls in school, right? And then you can also see a yellow arrow. Now, let us read the selection together so that we will be able to answer the questions right after. I will read it to you, children. There were two sisters walking to school, Jahara and Jewel. They needed to walk 1 kilometer to get to school. One day, they decided to have a race to see who could get there faster. They both began walking at the same time, but at different speeds. In the end, Jahara reached the school after 25 minutes, while Jewel arrived in school after 20 minutes. So sa ato pang pinulungan, naglumbaanay, no? Naglumbaanay si Jahara ug si Jewel ug lakaw padulong sa school given ang distance ng 1 kilometer. Then si Jahara nabot sa school within 25 minutes while si Jewel arrived in school after 20 minutes. Now let us answer the questions. How far did they walk to school? Sa man kaalayon ang ilang lakunon gikan sa ilang balay padulong sa eskwelahan. Yes, sakto. It is 1 kilometer. No, their house is 1 kilometer away from the school. How much time did it take Jahara to arrive in school? Exactly. Jahara took 25 minutes to arrive in school. Number 3. How much time did it take Jewel to arrive in school? What's your answer for that? Okay. Yes. Jewel took 20 minutes to arrive in school. Now, who arrived first? Kasi may nakauna ning lag-abot. Yes, it is Jewel who arrived first. Why did Jewel arrive first? What do you think is the reason na nakauna si Jewel? Sakto. Because Jewel walks faster than Jahara. So, klaro na na? Let us move on to another part of this lesson. So, what is it? Diri na ito mahibalaan. Diri ninyo mahibalaan unsa na inang force, unsa ng motion, and other terms related sa atong lesson karong buntada. Force and motion are important parts of our daily lives. From kicking a soccer ball, to picking up a sandwich, to dropping a pencil, force and motion are always at play. Di dyan na magbulag si force o si motion. And part sila sa atong everyday living. Even the blood flowing through our body moves due to the pumping force of the heart muscle. Everything is in constant motion because forces are always at work. Next, by definition, motion is a change in position with respect to our reference point. Another term nga atong hinumduman is ang motion. Na ay motion if there is a change in position. Na ay pag-usab sa position sa usa ka butang with respect to a reference point. Unsa po ning reference point, kids? A reference point is a fixed place used to determine whether the position of an object has changed. Kumbaga, siya atong timailhan kung na-move ba na nga object o wala. That is our reference point. Nasabtan ba ko? Okay, very good. Now, to determine the effects of motion on the length covered by an object from one point to another, it is important that we measure its distance. Para mahibaluan po nato, children, kung tinuod ba gyud nga na-move ang object, i-measure nato ilahang distansya or distance. When we say distance, it is the measure of how far 2 points are from one another. Next, scientifically, distance should be measured by using measuring tools such as a meter stick, tape measure, measuring wheel, and ultrasonic sensor. Okay, so muna ang mga gamituno na to measure the distance of an object na gi-travel or gi-move sa object. Scientists throughout the world use the metric system as a world standard for measurement. Commonly used metric units for short distances. Okay, remember children ha, unsay mga commonly used metric units for short distances, mga mubo lang kaayo nga distansya ang gi-measure. Okay, examples are millimeter and centimeter. While in measuring longer distances, kung tag-as na kayong distansya itong i-measure, we need to use meter with the symbol of M and kilometer with the symbol of km are often used. Okay? Next. The distance covered by a moving object is affected by its speed. So naana po'y laing naka-apekto, naana po tayo laing term na i-learn this time. And it is speed or the measure of how fast it moves. Unsa ka kusgon iyang pagliho. Speed refers to how fast an object position changes over time. Na? Pariha ganina ni Jahara and ni Jewel, gi-measure nato kinsay mas paspas mulakaw nilang duha. Given the situation. Given the time nga ning abot sila sa eskwelahan. Okay, next. The faster an object moves, the shorter time it takes for it to cover a certain time. Meaning, kung pusog ang pag-move sa object or even sa tao, let's say for example, kung paspas iyang paglakaw padulong sa eskwelahan, mas dali siyang maabot. Mas gamay ang time nga iyang magamit para moabot siya sa iyang destinasyon. So, muna ipasabot na. Then, the slower it moves, the longer it takes for it to cover the same distance. So pareha, duha sila kabuok, pareho sila distansya nga gilakaw. Pero kay lahi-lahi man ang speed. Kung hinay iyahang paglakaw, mas taas iyahang time na ma-consume para maabot siya adto nga distance. In measuring short period of time, second or with the symbol S or sec is often used, while R, H or HR is used for longer period of time. So ang mga units na po sa time, second or hour. Second ko, short period of time lang. And hour if it is for longer period of time. So I guess master na mo ani na. Kabalo na mo si gamit ni second and ni hour. Now, to calculate the speed, you simply divide the distance traveled by a moving object to this time spent traveling. So kung gusto ta makabalo, pareha gani balikan na tutong selection ni Jahara and ni Jewel. So kung gusto ta makabalo, unsa di kakusgon ang paglakaw ni Jahara? Unsa di ang pagkakusgon nga paglakaw sa iyang sister? So atong i-compute ang speed o ang distance, no? So distance, say for example, distance then divided by time, or V is equal to D over T. Natay mga example sa sunod nga slides na. Ayaw tabalaka. Since speed is a measure of distance per unit of time, commonly units for speed include meters per second, or M, then slash S, or kilometers per hour, km slash HR or kph. Now, we have here an illustration na a car that travels 200 meters in how many seconds? In 10 seconds. So this is an example on how to calculate the speed of a moving object. So atong i-calculate ang speed sa car. Given the distance, which is 200 meters, and the time, which is 10 seconds. So atong balikon tong formula kaganina, speed is equal to distance divided by time. So it is equal to 200 meters divided by 10 seconds. It is equal to 20 meter per second. Now, we will have another example. Anna ran to her friend's house, which is 240 meters away from her house, in 40 seconds. How fast did Anna run? Si Anna daw, ninglakaw nidagan og 240 meters away gikan sa ilang balay padulong sa iyahang balay sa iyahang amiga in 40 seconds. Now karon atong i-calculate ang speed ni Anna. So knowing nga ang formula sa speed is equal to distance divided by time. So distance traveled is equal to 240 meters divided by the time spent in traveling, which is 40 seconds. So our speed is equals to 6 meters per second rather. Okay. So nasabtan na ba? Okay, let us move on to our next activity. So we have here what's more activity. So the directions is complete the table below by computing the speed of the given vehicles by using the formula speed is equal to distance over time. So balik-balik ra gid na, no? So you have to remember the formula for speed. Then answer the questions that follow. So for this activity, I will give you a sample. Isa lang na. So we are going to calculate the speed of the tricycle. Ang point of origin ni tricycle or reference point, gikan siya o Dipolog City. Ang distance kayang gi-travel is 40 kilometer. Gi-travel niya within 1 hour. Ang iyang destination, padulong siya sa Manukan, Zamboanga del Norte. Meaning the tricycle takes 1 hour to travel from Dipolog City to Manukan, Zamboanga del Norte. Now, to calculate the speed, we are going to divide the distance traveled, which is, palihog kong sulat sa inyong mga papel or scratch paper, 40 kilometer divided by 1 hour. So what is the speed of the tricycle? Okay, that's right. It's 40 kilometer per hour. That's the speed of the tricycle. Then it is your task now to compute the speed of the van and the car so that you will be able to answer the questions, not the 4 questions that follow. Of course, the vehicle with the greater speed is the fastest, no? So that's your clue. Sige, so I will leave that for you to answer right after watching this video. Is that understood, kids? Okay, that's good. All right, let us move on to what I have learned activity. How do you describe motion? So for this activity, you are just going to complete the graphic organizer by putting the correct word found in the word pool. Okay, so number 1. Let's do number 1. Huh? Let's answer number 1 as your example. An object moves if there is blank exerted on the object. What do you think is the answer for that? Yes, the correct answer is force. An object moves if there is force exerted on it or on the object. Okay, for numbers 2 to 5, that will be your task to answer. Don't forget to just choose your answer from the words inside the box or inside the word pool. Next, what I can do. So here, you are going to answer the 3 questions, not 3 practical questions. Number 1, many accidents are happening on the streets, like car crashes or biking accidents. Why do you think this happened? Unsa ka ang mga rason nga nung daghang maaksidente nga mga cars or mga bike accidents sa street? Okay, that you're going to answer that one. Na? The number 2, how can we prevent the occurrence of traffic accidents? Paunsa man nato nga malikayan nato ang mga aksidente sa atong kadalanan? Unsa ba inyong angay buhaton? So there, you're going to write your answer. At least for now, nakasabot mo, basig naglibog mo unsay buot pasabot sa questions ato ang pinulungan. Na? Number 3, why is it important to drive, bike, or walk safely and carefully? Ganun kinahanglan man ta mag-amping sa atong pag-drive, pag-bike, paglakaw, no? Ano man. Okay, that is for you to answer. Now, let us move on. By the way, children, in answering, please try to express your answers in a complete sentence. Okay? Next. Now let us have the assessment. I believe you fully understood our lesson this morning. Nah? So I am sure that you can answer this part. It's a very important part of your module, the assessment. Now, there are two tests, parts of the test for assessment. Test 1, it is called modified true or false. Directions. Write T if the statement is correct. If it is false, change the underlined word to make the statement correct. Write your answer before the number. Nasabtan ba ang instructions? Akong hubaron ha sa atong pinulungan kay basin na ay naglibo. Okay, inyong buhaton is to write T kung sakto. T on the blank kung sakto ang istorya sa sentence. Pero kung false, kung mali ni siya, ayaw butangi og word nga false. Instead, ilisi ang i-underline nga word sa sakto nga word. Sabot. Example, in measuring a short period of time that an object moves, we use hours. Hours bang gamiton? Dili, diba? So it is false. Pero unsay condition, kung false, ilisan ang i-underline ng word into a correct word. Ilisan siya sa imong answer. So the correct answer is seconds. Next example. Distance should be measured using standard unit of measure. Sakto ba? Yes, it is true. Kay true man ang answer. So gisulatan po nato diha og letter T. Okay, so we are going to answer numbers 1 to 5. Kung naigikalibgan, pwede mo mag-review sa daan tong what is it nga part ito makita jud tanan no ang mga necessary information for this lesson. Okay, next part of the assessment is the multiple choice. So you're just going to encircle the letter of the correct answer. So let us have number 1 as an example. Which of the following shows the fastest speed? A, 15 meter per second. B, 41 meter per second. C, 21 meter per second. Or D, 51 meter per second. What do you think is the correct answer? Yes, it is letter D. So na naman check daan. So you are going to answer questions 2 to 5. So just encircle the letter of the correct answer. That ends our lesson for this morning, children. Thank you so much for spending your time listening with me, answering your modules with me. Until next time, this is your science teacher, Mrs. Joy Sherry C. Pandoy. Goodbye, kids. Sakto na ka.